Tom Holman referred AOC to the United States Department of Justice to investigate her for showing illegal aliens how to avoid ICE. AOC is in full panic mode now because she broke the law, and she knows it. Now AOC is trying to save her hide by going on fake news, NPR, and writing a letter to President Trump calling him Honorable President Donald Trump. She knows she screwed up big time. You can watch the NPR interview right here. Do me a favor, please smash that like button and subscribe. My name is Michael Knight, and we need your help today. Here is the video.
You had a recent dispute, if that's the right word, with Tom Holman, the president's Homeland Security czar, so-called. You held an online forum, a Know Your Rights forum, that he didn't like. What were you doing? What was your goal as you saw it?
My job is to educate and act as a liaison of critical information to my constituents. And I was informing all of my constituents of their constitutional protections, and in particular, their constitutional protections against illegal search and seizure in the United States.
Holman was upset, I suppose, because he felt that you were giving advice to people who were here illegally. Were you?
I was giving advice to all of my constituents. Yeah.
He said he was going to report you, or even that he did reach out to the Department of Justice. Have you heard from the Department of Justice?
I have not, and I intend on reaching out to the Department of Justice to inquire.
Really? What would your question be for the Department of Justice?
Well, there is a member of the Trump administration who is threatening and seeks to open an inquiry, and are you going to do it?
What would you learn? What do you hope to learn from that exchange?
I think it's important to know where this administration stands and if they intend on using political intimidation to silence their critics.
Now, let's take a look at this news report. And we're going to take a look at the letter that AOC wrote. AOC is panicking. She asks Pam Bondi in her letter. Let's not forget, Pam Bondi is the head prosecutor at the DOJ. AOC asks Pam Bondi if the DOJ is investigating her for telling illegal immigrants how to avoid ICE. She is shitting her pants right now. Seriously, Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez asks U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi on Thursday whether the Department of Justice is investigating her office for teaching illegal immigrants how to avoid the Trump administration's mass deportations earlier this month. Tom Holman has stated many times that he will arrest anyone who aids and abets illegal aliens. So, AOC's congressional office and Lawyers with Immigrant Defense Project also held a Knowing Your Rights with ICE webinar. This was 2 weeks ago, educating illegal immigrants at risk of deportation about their rights and how U.S. Immigrations and Customs Enforcement gathers information and enforces immigration laws. She should be arrested. What do you think? Now, AOC wrote a letter. Let's just read over this insane letter, wrote by AOC. This is from AOC's office. What the heck? She calls Pam Bondi, the Honorable Pam Bondi. Now that's is fear. And if you notice at the bottom, she calls Trump the Honorable Donald J. Trump. Isn't that interesting? Never thought I would see AOC referring to Donald Trump as honorable. But there you have it. Just a few days ago, she was calling him a white supremacist and other racist names. Look what AOC writes. Dear Attorney General Bondi, I write to request clarity on whether the Department of Justice has yielded to political pressure and attempts to weaponize the agency against elected officials whose speech they disagree with. Over the past 2 weeks, quote, borders are, quote, Tom Holman has gone on multiple forums threatening political persecution against me, citing resources I distributed, informing my constituents and the American public of their constitutional and legal rights. On February 13, 2025, Mr. Holman announced that he had asked the Deputy Attorney General to open an investigation and that I will be, quote, in trouble now, quote, It has been 14 days since Mr. Holman first threatened to weaponize your agency, but I have not yet heard any referral from the federal government. Holman's actions undercut court constitutional rights, and first transparency is necessary. I am sure you are aware of the First Amendment of the United States Constitution. Congress shall make no law respecting and establishment of religion, or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech, or of the press, or the right of the people peaceably to assemble and to petition the government for a redress of grievances. Indeed, last week, Vice President Vance said that, quote, "We may disagree with your views, but we will fight to defend your right to offer it in the public square." Quote, Mr. Holman's repeated attempts to use your agency to politically intimidate duly elected officials are a textbook threat to the right of freedom of speech in the United States. Threatening criminal proceedings for exercising the First Amendment is itself a violation of the First Amendment. Using the public about their rights, especially in a time of rising uncertainty, is a key part of our responsibility as elected officials. A government that uses threats of DOJ investigations to suppress free speech is a threat to all, regardless of political ideology. Please respond no later than March 5, 2025, with an update on the Department of Justice's response to Mr. Holman's request and transparency as to whether my office or myself is actively under investigation for exercising their First Amendment rights and executing on our congressional responsibilities, signed AOC. So there you all have it. AOC is a hypocrite. She encouraged that conservatives be censored on Twitter and YouTube. What does speech have to do with aiding and abetting the illegal help of illegal aliens? Now we're going to shoot into another clip from the same NPR interview, which gives a little bit more context. Let me know what you all think about this. Do you think that AOC is just exercising her First Amendment rights, or is she teaching people how to break the law and how to get away with it? Does that fall under the First Amendment? What do you think? Okay, I want to hear what you all have to say. Real quick, I really appreciate you all watching this video. Please do like, please do comment. And before you do anything else, stop right now, hit the share button, and text the message to somebody, or you can WhatsApp them, email them, or you can just share this video. We're going to flow right into another clip from this NPR interview, so let me know what you all think. Let's get into it.
As that lack of progress. Of course, there was famously a bipartisan bill last year that the Republican majority in the Senate and also in the House were willing to pass. President Biden was willing to work with them on it. And Donald Trump said, do not solve this problem. As long as it is broken, then it will be politically beneficial for us. And so it is a problem not just for Democrats, it's a problem for the entire country that Republicans do not want to solve any sort of issue with immigration. They are completely uninterested in addressing undocumented people, in addressing a path to citizenship.
Well, they do want to address undocumented people by removing them. I mean, that's what the president is attempting now.
Even then, you see what Republicans did with the Lake and Riley Act recently in their passage with it, in that they authorized the complete gutting of due process. So now you can take a DACA recipient, a dreamer, just accuse them of a crime.
And deport them.
And however, they also understand that they don't even have the infrastructure to do that. So they're actually creating it's not even about creating a deportation pipeline. They are creating a private prison camp pipeline. So they're still creating pipelines to just increase this problem here in the United States.
Now that was a ridiculously wild-ass answer. AOC and the Biden administration allowed 20 million dangerous illegal aliens to cross the border and flew them all over the U.S. It's on taxpayers' funds. The Democrats have lost their minds, and AOC was warned not to obstruct ICE removals. She did it anyway. So let's hope she goes to jail.